Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's news update. This is the news for the week of August 4th. And this week we have news about one closing and one opening. So let's get started. So we're going to start with the closing. So this is a temporary closure of the Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin attraction, which is going to get a huge refurb. And I think we're all really excited about this one. It is a fun ride as it is. I've always enjoyed it. But it is pretty dated. The technology isn't great. The aiming capabilities, none of it's perfect by any means, but overall it's a fun concept and a fun design. So I think we're really glad that they're keeping that attraction open, but they're just giving it a really nice refresh. So what they're going to do here is they're going to introduce a bunch of new show scenes to the attraction, and they're going to have a new introductory scene. And in this scene, we're going to be introduced to Buddy. And Buddy is going to guide us through how to interact with this game so that you know how to use the guns and what targets to look for and that type of thing. So he's going to be your guide through this process. The other great updates that they're doing is to the gun itself. So if you've been on this before, you know that it is attached to the unit. You can kind of tilt it a little bit, but you really get stuck in your mobility with that gun. And if you are in a two-person attraction seat and you are not the person doing the actual turning of the vehicle, it can be very frustrating because you have limited mobility. And right when you get that perfect aim pinpointed, your sister moves the car on you and you're all off track. So with this, you'll have a lot more flexibility to just do your own aiming and get more engagement with that game. So I think the handheld guns is a really nice way to go. The other thing they're doing is they're going to have distinct laser colors for both people in the car. So you'll be able to determine which laser is yours. And they're going to have always on sights. So it'll be a lot easier to aim for those targets. The other thing is when you hit the targets, you'll get feedback from the gun. So you'll have like a haptic vibration that you will feel in the gun. And you'll also hear noises coming from the gun to show that you've actually hit the target and you're not kind of guessing. They're also going to update the screens in the car so that you get a better display so that you can keep track of your score as you go along. And they're also updating the targets themselves. So again, these are going to light up and react and cause reactions in the attraction when you do hit a target. So overall, it's a pretty big refurbishment, but I think it'll be a drastic improvement on what is a really good concept, but not necessarily the best execution. I'm really looking forward to seeing the latest version of this attraction when it does reopen, and we can all sort our challenges again to try and be our galactic hero. Now that we talked about what's closing, let's talk about what's opening, and that is the Beak and Barrel Lounge. That is the Pirates of the Caribbean themed lounge in Adventureland in the Magic Kingdom. So this is going to be opening on August 29th. If you look at my previous video on Beak and Barrel, we go into a lot of the details around the storyline and the aesthetics of the Beak and Barrel, so we won't cover that in this episode. But it also talks about how they're going to be doing a reservation system similar to what they did with Ogre's Canteen, where you will have a 45-minute reservation window to access the lounge. So that's kind of how they're going to be managing demand when this first opens. Not ideal, but obviously understandable. The really exciting thing is not just the opening date, but now we have a view of the menu. So I'm not going to go through every detail of every item on the menu. There's obviously a lot of offerings here, but I'm just going to go through a few of the highlights that kind of stood out to me. So first, let's look at some of the really cool non-alcoholic drinks. So this is the one for your little ones if they want to get in on the Pirates-themed fun. So the first one is the Treasure Trove. This has ube, lemon, and coconut. So for those pickier drinkers, probably not your ideal choice. But the nice thing about this one is you not only get the beverage, but you get a few desserts on the side. So you get a vanilla cake plank, you get a chocolate cannonball, and you get some golden caramel popcorn. So a nice mix of a treat and a drink all in one dish. So the next one is the Cursed Treasure. This one is coconut milk and cookie crumbs. So this is going for a cookies and cream flavor. I'm not sure if I love the idea of having crumbs in my drink, but it's a flavor option. It is a non-dairy drink. They are going with the coconut milk. Obviously, nobody wants to drink milk on a hot Florida summer day. So this is another nice treat. And there's also going to be a pirate golden cookie on top of that. So you can see here, it looks like the medallion from the pirate movies, which is very cool. If you're looking for something with a little bit more of a kick, the one that caught my eye was the Hibiscus Rum Punch Royale. So this one is rum with Prosecco, hibiscus, demerara, and citrus. So this one looks really refreshing if you are looking for an alcoholic beverage. So there's two particular food items that really caught my eye. I'm going to leave the coolest looking one for last. So I'm going to start with the Cook's Corn Griddle Cakes. So this is a corn cake with melted cheese, lime sour cream, chili peppers, and cotija cheese. So you can get this in two options, one being the vegetarian option, which is roasted corn and poblano peppers, or you can get it with a chipotle braised chicken. Now let's talk about the weirdest option that they have on their menu, but I think it fits the theming so well and it looks so cool. So this is the Kraken's cat. This is a cold salad with octopus tentacles in a lemon and lime juice. So this comes with olive, bell peppers, avocado, and piquillo pepper almond foam. The look of this one is so cool, and it does remind me a lot of a ceviche, which I do enjoy, so I will likely give this one a try at some point. I'm sure the aesthetics of it are going to scare off a few people, but it is definitely an Instagram-worthy item if you just want to take a picture with that food, because, like, how cool is this? It is so perfectly Kraken themed. I think they did a really good job. The question is, do these flavors really match? But I think they might be able to pull it off. Really, the only thing that concerns me is the foam itself. It sounds a little bit odd, but I get why they want it for the aesthetic. So whether or not its flavor profile fits with the rest of it, I'm not sure, but I'm willing to give it a try. So some very cool stuff coming out of this lounge. I think the storytelling behind this is going to be amazing. The food looks really good. It looks like they've really leaned into the theme across the board. I cannot wait to see this one open. So they did also announce some new Halloween merch that is coming out. Again, I'm not going to dig into every piece of merchandise. There are some cool new t-shirts that came out with different characters on them. Obviously, Stitch is everywhere, so Stitch is still here. You also get some themed around Monsters, Inc., which I totally understand why they're pushing that theme at the moment. And of course, The Nightmare Before Christmas. We wouldn't expect anything else from Disney at Halloween. So this year they also have some merchandise themed around the Not So Scary Party. So there's a loungefly, there's t-shirts, there's a spirit jersey leaning into Mickey's Not So Scary Party, as well as the Boo to You parade. So if you were really into that party specifically and you want some merchandise for that hard ticket event, that is going to be available. There's also a bunch of new stuffed toys. Obviously, every year we get Mickey and Minnie in new Halloween costumes. They seem to dress up for every season. My favorite, though, is the Mickey Pumpkin Squishmallow. This guy looks absolutely adorable. I absolutely want to have one in my house at some point. Hopefully, I can get down there in time to pick one of those up. So with that, that is it for this week. I'm keeping it nice and short. I am in the middle of the house reno. We did get it last week. I think at this point, the subfloors are back on, which is exciting that we can actually start rebuilding. But it's been a lot of work. So prioritizing that, but I am going to make sure that I keep getting these videos out so you're not missing any news updates. So this will be coming out Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Catch us every week at that time for a new video. If there's no big news updates, I'll keep putting out more videos of my vlog series about working remotely from the parks, which was such a treat that I got to do this year. Hoping to do it again next year. Make sure you like and subscribe, hit that notification button so you don't miss any of these videos, and we will see you next week.